Hello everybody, welcome to the Arcane table. We're here at the Saskatoon exhibition, and one of the lovely things, the things I enjoy the most about doing an event like this is meeting new people. I am so glad that I've come, and DMU has come to the exhibition this year, because I've met these two fine gentlemen. And when I say fine gentlemen, there's nobody better dressed finely than this guy right here. Guys, introduce yourselves.
So I'm Sho.
And I'm Tung.
And then what are we talking about here today? Because I'm really excited for what I've discovered, but we've already known about for almost a decade now.
So you got a chance to experience our game that we're developing.
And what's that game?
It's called Battalia.Chess.
Again?
Battalia.Chess.
Battalia.Chess, baby. It is a lot of fun. It's like, really, it's a lot of fun. It's this really cool hybrid between.
Well, this is the interesting part. For you, it's a hybrid of D&D and chess.
Yep.
For other players, it's a hybrid of chess, Yu-Gi-Oh, D&D.
Yeah.
You didn't get, unfortunately, to play the full edition.
Yep.
The mechanics of it follow closely the heart of chess, but I wanted to combine strategy and tactics.
And which you did. You know, one of the things about game development is finding that that balance. You know, what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you guys have been play testing and doing this for like 8 years now.
Yes.
And like we played once the demo version, but over the span of the Saskatoon X, we've been watching others play it, and it seems like it's really fun. It's high energy, and there is that balance mechanic to it, but that makes it easy to learn, but difficult to master.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, it has a introduction level where people of all ages can play, and then we've had 10-year-olds play it.
Absolutely, that's true.
12-year-olds play it, and they enjoy it at local shops and things like that. We actually had I think he was 10 or 11 at the tournament. Yeah. So the interesting part is it captures so many age groups. One of the common players is teenagers, and they come in and they bring their friends, and they feel the hype of the game. But then it also appeals to adults as well.
And that's it. You want something that's flashy, that's going to catch the eye, and I think you've done that. You know, so like we've got like the strategy of the game. We've got some like lore of it with all the titans and stuff like that, and the different cards that do different things. You know, but also all these amazing minis. You know, so can we talk about them a little bit?
Sure. So chess has a lot of the common units. One of the units is a pawn. Also, in your game, you got to play with the queen, you got to play with the knight.
Yeah.
All of them have an interesting twist with Battalia.Chess, so we do very fascinating things to essentially make a new version, not of chess, but a new version of a competitive version of chess.
Absolutely.
That appeals to greater audiences.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of the things that I did was I started creating additional units that follow the chess formula, which is they have specific movement and attack styles. One of the pieces is, I'll let Tung talk about it.
Yeah, so one of the new units we have here that kind of adds to it is an alpha pawn. So with it, the stats of it is different from a typical pawn, but what changes it from what is the chess to our game is that we change the way they attack and move. That way it adds a little diversity in the game.
Absolutely.
For example, these guys, they have an option to select at the beginning of the game whether you want to attack in a plus formation or an X formation, but up to also 2 squares. And our game is a grid-based game.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right? So it's so much easier for players to understand movement and attack patterns because of that.
And once again, very similar to chess and very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because a lot of the time for combat, it's all done on a grid-based system, you know, so you can very much see the similarities between this and that. Absolutely. And the cool thing about that is that Eric and I, the other Eric from DMU, we had a chance to play each other, and we have that full match here that we'll be showing on the channel eventually. But Eric picked pawns, and I did not, and he actually got his pawn to evolve not once but twice, right? And then his pawn was like taking out my king. And typically in a game of chess, it's the opposite way around, right?
Yes.
Which was a very cool mechanic to see those simple characters, kind of evolve into something where they can be more powerful.
That's right. Well, that's why I wanted to choose the alpha pawn, because that's the piece that he evolved the pawn into.
That's very cool.
It was a stronger pawn, and the alpha pawn upgraded itself again, like you said. I would say the biggest selling point to Battalia.Chess is it allows theory crafting. So unlike chess, that you're limited to the pieces that you get, It becomes very predictable. So the main point that I want to highlight that hopefully appeals to a lot of viewers on your channel is you get to build your army, pretty much like a unit building game. So if you don't like how a unit works, you don't have to employ them in your army at all. You could completely skirt around it. And one thing I've noticed, and like I said, like you introduced us, Sarah, is that we've been working on it for 8 years.
Yeah.
The balancing on it was really difficult. And
and it shows. It shows. This is
stalking.
It's a very polished game. Absolutely, it definitely shows. Good job, guys.
So what's fascinating is we held a amateur tournament, meaning completely new players, this April with prizes and everything.
Yep.
But the play styles of so many people were different, and it was always competitive.
Yeah. And how many people showed up for this tourney?
So it was anywhere. I think it was around 30.
Yeah, cool. That's a good number.
One thing that I'm really excited about is it's popping off locally, which means it could pop off globally. If I'm convincing people to leave their homes and drive 40 minutes to play, that says something about the player retention and how much people enjoy playing the game. So if any of you guys are interested in a more competitive version of D&D, because D&D is more about the adventure.
Yeah, it is. It's very storytelling. Absolutely.
This takes the D&D and turns it into a fight.
Absolutely.
A D&D fight right from beginning to end.
And once again, you know, role playing is a big part of Dungeons and Dragons. Improv is where I'm kind of heavy with my games. Combat is definitely important in D&D. You know, it is one of the 3 pillars of role playing. You know, but like this really captures like the combat and the strategy, you know, of the game. And no word of lie, after we had finished our game, Eric and I were talking about it, and it's like, when is that tournament? Because we won in.
Yeah.
And it's like that's awesome. You know that you know a big guy Eric is talking like that because I'm in like a dirty shirt too.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's cool is that since you only played like the introduction game, you guys had a blast. We had a blast being there watching it. And you can only imagine what the full game is like at that point,
and that's just it. We just got a taste of it at the Saskatoon X. Like there's like all kinds of. You have a big deck of different you know of creatures or you know that can be used. One of the things you guys mentioned was a gladiator. Which is very cool. How does the gladiator work?
Sounds good. So just like other chess pieces in regular chess or Battalia.Chess, it has limited amounts of movement and certain restrictions. But the aspect of the gladiator is it can, when it attacks, all attacks in Battalia.Chess, you have to roll for them. So you don't just get a free attack in at any point in the game. It's dice roll mechanics. But the gladiator, when it rolls and it likes a particular number, you could lock that roll in on all future battles.
Which is very cool, because you're not rolling a 2d12, you're not rolling a d20. For the most part, you're rolling a d24,
and
which
that's
is
part of our
unique, which is very unique. And then plus not only that, you know, there's other game mechanics where like the king was rolling like 46, and so it's like why? You know, like why is somebody rolling like a handful of dice and other people are rolling like just a single
like I said, Eric, pain, stalking, balancing. I've tried so many different dices and the math between them and what percentages I want, but I still wanted it to feel like a dice roll. I didn't want to pick a random number, so we kind of created the D24, and we wanted that to be the symbol of our game.
That's very cool. Yeah, unique, something different, just like this game. Perfect. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
So please join us and play some games, show some local support. We're hoping to make this into a digital release. That's the ultimate goal, and make it into an e-sport on a much higher scale. I want to compete with the likes of StarCraft. I want to compete with the likes of those tournaments, arcade tournaments like Street Fighter.
Very cool.
And what we're working on right now is we have developers working on a prototype. So I'm hoping for the next couple of years, you're going to have a digital release at home console, Steam.
You guys are gonna get there. I can see it. Everyone's good. Like you do cons long enough, you see, you know, people selling stuff or pushing things, you know, a dime a dozen. But you guys, I feel it. I can see it. You guys have the energy. You've got the product, and like I said, it's polished, it's colorful. And the thing is, you're not restricted to the minis on the table. You can bring your own stuff, right?
Yes.
And so like
another flavor to it.
Exactly. So it's custom. right?
Yep.
You know, and like it's ideal, you know, and like you hit all the quadrants. You're talking about children, you're talking about adults, you're talking about non-gamers, you're talking about gamers. Yeah, you guys are gonna make it. You guys are gonna do well.
The last thing I did want to say, and if you give the game play the full edition, you're going to get a gamer tag dubbed by yours truly. And when it gets released to a digital version, any that showed support, we will import your playstyle as an AI there and have your gamer tag as a shout out.
Very cool too.
To
And,
all our players.
and that's just it. You were talking about AI. Some of the obstructions on the field, that's all randomly generated with an algorithm?
Yeah, so I created an Excel sheet and created a whole document of it generating random numbers each time we play.
Cool.
So instead of doing it one at a time, right?
Yep.
I went through all the list to try to figure that out, and by pushing a button, everything's generated randomly for us.
Strategy. Like once again, you there's a curtain that goes up in between players, and then you choose your figures with a point base.
That's right.
And then you place your figures where you think it would be best strategized, and then it's like 3, 2, 1. The curtain lifts, and you see where your enemy is placed. Okay, I can see that, you know, where I'm going, and then the algorithm comes in, and there's all this terrain.
That's right.
And then in the full edition, there's like other monsters and loot and portals. So it's just not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, so there's Battalia, Mohamad, Omar, and David King Devon. So we were all actually high school friends, best friends.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I came up with this game in high school, and I wanted to create like a war chess game. As high schoolers, we literally have no funds. So it's always been brewing in the back of my mind of how I want to make this thing.
Yep. Cool.
And finally, when we moved out here in Saskatchewan from Toronto, we started having a decent amount of work and funds, started just creating the board game version. Well, you want to know something interesting is we've been developing it for 8 years, but we've only released it to the world in the past maybe year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, the general public.
Yeah, and then that really popped off. So I've kind of kept it a hidden secret and just brewing in the basement and making sure I'm working on things between us, playtesting it over and over and over. But now, since we have literally hundreds and hundreds of games and dozens and dozens of new players within like months.
So, and there's a market for it. You know, like you said, you know, if you've only been, you know, active for like a year and a half, stuff like that to the public, and you're already having tournaments where people are traveling, and you're talking about like, you know, 30 contestants, you know, that's good. You know, because sometimes you'll put on an event and there'll only be like the developers or the people and maybe a couple friends, right? So to have a whole bunch of strangers or other people that are into the game supporting you says the world. Very good.
To be fair, that tournament, the best part about it was it's a completely newbie amateur tournament. So only new players. And one thing we wanted to do with that is give the players the respect that I wanted to see them grow. One of the things as a developer I enjoy seeing is my players use their critical thinking to figure the game out instead of be given a cheat sheet to say, okay, this is how the developer plays, maybe I should play this way.
And once again, the synergy that you guys have, like I see it, and I see the energy between yourself and your team. Like you've got both of you are coaching, both of you are hype men for the game. You know, even David, you know, he was all in it when he was here. You know, the day or two that he was here. Like really, these guys are behind the product, and like once again, I can't say enough. Like this is some cool stuff. Cool. Closing thoughts. You know, anything you want to plug? You know, do we have?
It's just with that, like because we come down with Dragon's Den weekly. Anybody that's interested and wanting to try it out, will be on the Discord to announce when that happens, and we'll be down at Dragon's Den, just allowing players to play.
Sounds good. Is that typically on a specific day or?
Usually Fridays.
Fridays, okay.
Because they open later those days, so usually it is a Friday.
Cool. And once again, Dragon's Den, you know, sponsoring this area, you know, for the Saskatoon X. Darren and the crew there are excellent.
Excellent.
You know, like excellent. You know,
they're so good dressed.
Yeah, they're open in the public eye. They do all the events. You know, they're supporting DMU. They're supporting you guys. They're supporting ToonCon. So once again, thank you, Darren. Thank you for everybody involved at Dragon's Den for everything you do for the gaming, the tabletop, and you know, for new developers and an oversaturated market. You know, you guys need all the help you can get. But you guys are in good water. Like you guys are killing it.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to also thank you yourself for having us on and allowing us to present our product and hopefully bring some wholesome gaming out there and cheer, put some smiles on people's faces.
Absolutely, yeah. We were talking about this earlier off camera about how we see the world and how we see people. I'm a firm believer in surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah.
I've talked about that several times on the channel. You know,
Perfect.
a lot of people say I don't have a group, I don't have friends and stuff like that. Find those people. You know, find those people that can lift you up. Find those people that are going to be there to support you. Whether it's your siblings or your parents or your classmates or your friends. Find those people because they will do wonders for you.
Yeah.
And like once again, I hope nothing and I want nothing for the best for you guys.
Thank you. Likewise.
Excellent. I want to thank you both.
Looking forward to
Very
future
cool.
games, my friend.
Nice, good
Yeah,
stuff.
God bless.
Thank you all very much. This has been the Arcane Table. And remember, you're always welcome at the table.
Battalia.Chess.
Battalia.Chess. It's awesome.